What started as quiet tension has now erupted into full-blown chaos, and Camron just flipped the entire script on Chrissy in a way that no one expected. Fans are still reeling from Chrissy Lampkin's emotional tell-all, where she finally broke her silence on the long-rumored fallout between her and the Harlem rapper. But before the dust could even settle, Camron came swinging, and his response? Let's just say it wasn't calm, it wasn't careful, it was war. In a moment that's now setting timelines on fire, Camron snapped, not just at Chrissy, but at everything she claimed. With raw voice notes, behind-the-scenes shade, and even personal text messages he says she never thought would see daylight. This response isn't just a clapback, it's a declaration. But what really shook fans to their core, the fact that Camron didn't deny the past. He rewrote it. From unresolved betrayals to secrets buried deep within New York's tight-knit hip-hop elite, what Camron revealed has left the internet in a frenzy. And if you thought Chrissy's side of the story was messy, you haven't heard anything yet. Grab your popcorn. This isn't just a response, it's retaliation, Cam style. The night was calm. At least, that's what fans thought when Chrissy's interview dropped last week. She had finally opened up after years of silence, offering what seemed like a heartfelt and vulnerable look into her past with Camron. People were stunned. She cried. She reflected. She didn't say everything, but what she did say was enough to blow open old wounds and start conversations that had long been buried under public image and Instagram filters. But then came the voicemail, and everything changed. Just 2 days. After Chrissy's emotional sit-down, Camron uploaded a 2-minute audio clip on his story with no caption, no explanation. Just his voice, sharp and deliberate, layered over the sound of soft static and what fans swear is the clink of an empty glass. He started calm, almost too calm, but it escalated quickly. "She wanna play victim now?" he said in the clip. "Nah, we not doing that. Not today." That one line set the internet ablaze. Forums lit up. Fan pages went into full decode mode. People started piecing together the timeline of what really went down between Chrissy and Cam, especially during those blurry years when they were spotted together at industry parties, but swore up and down they were just friends. But Cam wasn't done. The next night, he went live. Over 30,000 people tuned in within minutes. He didn't wait for a build-up. No intro. Just straight smoke. "Yo, I let a lot of things slide because I respected her. But Chrissy out here trying to rewrite history like I wasn't there. Like I didn't know the real her." He leaned in close to the camera as if he were telling fans a secret they weren't supposed to hear. "You remember that night in Atlanta?" he said, eyebrows raised. "She ain't mentioned that in her Lil interview, did she?" The comment section exploded. People were begging for details. "Atlanta? What happened in Atlanta?" Cam took a slow sip of his drink, smirked, and said, "Nah, let's talk about it." And talk he did. For the next 20 minutes, he unpacked years of behind-the-scenes tension. He didn't raise his voice once, but the words hit like punches. He claimed that while Chrissy was telling the world she was being emotionally ignored, she was the one dodging calls, locking herself in hotel rooms, and disappearing for hours during their brief reunion in 2019. He even named names. "Jim knew," Cam said, referring to Jim Jones, Chrissy's longtime partner. "He just didn't want to deal with the fallout. Me and Jim don't always see eye to eye, but he knew what was happening. Everybody knew. Only person acting surprised now is Chrissy." Fans were floored because this wasn't just about relationships anymore. This was about friendships, loyalty, and betrayal inside one of the most iconic inner circles in hip-hop culture. Camron didn't stop at stories. He had receipts. Midway through the live, he shared a screenshot. It was a message from Chrissy, dated 2 months before her interview. The message read, "I still think about you." It wasn't all bad, was it? Cam didn't say a word after showing it. He just stared at the screen, daring viewers to interpret it for themselves. Fans started flipping out. "So why is she acting like she cut him off?" one viewer commented. "She was still checking in." "This makes her whole interview look shady now," another added. But then things got even more intense. Cam revealed that Chrissy allegedly tried to get ahead of the narrative. He said, "I got a call from someone on her team. They wanted to know if I'd be willing to stay quiet while the interview ran. They said it would be good for her image and that she deserves to reclaim her voice. But what about my voice? What about my truth?" And just like that, fans were divided. Some stood by Chrissy, saying Camron was trying to tear her down just for finally speaking her piece. Others believed Cam was simply defending himself from a one-sided story. But then a third voice entered the chat. Someone no one expected. The live ended suddenly, cutting off right as Cam hinted there was more to come. 20 minutes later, a video appeared on Twitter from someone claiming to be a close friend of Chrissy's, an insider who allegedly witnessed everything unfold between her and Camron over the years. The account had no profile picture, no name, but the details, they were chillingly specific. In the clip, the woman said, "I saw how they looked at each other in 2019. That wasn't over. Chrissy may have been with Jim, but her energy shifted when Cam came around. And Cam, he acted like he had something to prove. It wasn't love. It was ego. Both of them trying to win a battle they never finished." Within hours, that video had over 1.2 million views. And the more people watched it, the more questions they had. Was Chrissy playing the long game? Was Cam holding on to a grudge he never really let go? And where did Jim stand in all this? As rumors swirled and new theories flooded the internet, Cam posted one final story that night. Just a black screen with one sentence. They only tell the truth when it benefits them. And with that, part one of this explosive drama reached a boiling point. But what no one expected was who Cam would call next. Because when the past comes back knocking, it doesn't always ask permission. And when Cam picked up that phone and made a private call to someone fans haven't heard from, in years, the story took a turn. No one could have predicted. The call wasn't supposed to happen. Not after everything that had gone down, not after the silence, the distance, the Cold War that had lasted almost a decade. But Cam made it anyway. Fans didn't know about it yet. No tweets, no lives, no teasers, just a quiet, late-night call to a name that had been buried under the dust of old mixtapes and forgotten photos, Jules. When Cam called Juelz Santana, it wasn't just for backup. It was for confirmation. The two hadn't spoken much in recent years. Their Dipset bond had faded, but what remained was something deeper. Memory. Jules had seen it all. He'd been there during the studio nights when Chrissy used to stop by just to say hi. He'd been there in Miami during that infamous weekend Cam had hinted about in part one. And when Jules picked up the call and heard Cam's voice, he didn't even ask why. He already knew. "You talking about her again, huh?" Juelz said, voice scratchy, almost amused. Cam didn't laugh. "Nah, this ain't about talking. This time, I'm telling everything." The conversation lasted 22 minutes, long enough for Jules to confirm that yes, Chrissy had reached out to him too, not recently, but back in 2021. She'd asked him something strange then, something he hadn't thought much about at the time. "Do you think Cam would ever come clean?" she'd asked. "Come clean about what?" Jules had said, laughing. She never answered. Now, that moment hit differently. Cam asked if he could use the voice note. Jules hesitated, then agreed. On one condition. "Don't twist it. Say what it is, but don't make me look like I was in it. You know I ain't never picked sides." Cam posted the voice note an hour later. It was short. Just Jules saying, "Yeah, she asked if you'd come clean. I ain't know what she meant, but she asked." And then silence. That small clip sent shockwaves across social media. Fans weren't even sure what she wanted Cam to come clean about. Was it an affair? A lie? A secret? Theories exploded. Some claimed Cam was covering up a deeper betrayal. Others said Chrissy was the one hiding something huge, something that could shake her image beyond repair. But just when the chaos peaked, Chrissy clapped back. No interviews this time, no publicists, no filters. She went live. Chrissy was calm at first. Too calm, sitting on her couch in a loose hoodie. No makeup, just her raw voice and a screen full of curious viewers. Over 75,000 people tuned in within the first 5 minutes. "I'm not here to fight," she began. "I'm here because I'm tired of being a chapter in someone else's revenge story." She didn't deny the text Cam showed in part one. She didn't deny reaching out to Juelz, but she also didn't confirm anything either. Instead, she told her own story. One that painted Cam not as a victim, but as a manipulator. He's the kind of man who calls you late, says all the right things, then disappears for weeks, she said. But when you finally move on, suddenly, you were the one playing games. She revealed that during their reconnection in 2019, Cam had promised to tell the truth about their past. that he would own up to how things ended. But instead, he ghosted her just weeks later, right after she confronted him about another woman he'd allegedly been seeing. "I never wanted a headline," she said. "I wanted closure." The comments flew in faster than she could read. Some fans rallied behind her, saying she was finally setting herself free. Others weren't convinced. The text messages, the Jules clip, the sudden timing of it all, it left too many questions unanswered. And then, as if this saga wasn't messy enough, a third party stepped into the spotlight. It was Olivia. Yes, Olivia, the R&B singer, the love and hip-hop veteran, and someone who had her own tangled history with the same circle. She posted a cryptic tweet. "Some of y'all out here acting like receipts can't be edited. LOL, seen this game before. No name. No tags. But the shade? Unmistakable." Cam responded within minutes. He retweeted her and added, "Funny, 'cause you was right there when she sent the first message." And just like that, the story shifted again. Fans started digging up old clips from 2010, when Chrissy, Cam, Jim, and Olivia were all spotted at the same Fashion Week party. There were rumors, even back then. Whispers that Chrissy and Cam weren't just rekindling a friendship. Someone even leaked a blurry photo from that night, showing Chrissy leaning in close to Cam, laughing, her hand on his shoulder. Harmless? Maybe. But now, with everything resurfacing, it didn't look so innocent anymore. Olivia didn't say anything else. She didn't have to. The damage was done. And just when it felt like the story couldn't twist any further, fans started noticing a pattern. 3 years. Every 3 years, something between Cam and Chrissy erupted. 2016, a rumored backstage fight at an awards show. 2019, the quiet reunion in Atlanta. 2022, a subtle unfollow on Instagram. And now, 2025, the full meltdown. Was it coincidence? Or was something keeping them tethered together in secret? As part 2 builds to its peak, one thing becomes clear. This isn't just about Camron and Chrissy. This is about years of unresolved history, pride, and a past that refuses to stay buried. And the person who's about to speak next? He's been silent long enough. Jim Jones is watching, and he's ready to step in. The question is, will he defend Chrissy, or will he expose the truth they've all been hiding? He hadn't said a word in weeks. Not a post, not a comment, not even a repost. Jim Jones had remained completely silent while the internet turned upside down around him. Camron was spilling voice notes. Chrissy was going live with her side. Old names were getting pulled into the mess. And yet Jim, nothing. Until now, on a rainy Sunday night, Jim broke his silence. Not with a video, not with a caption, but with a single photo on his story. A throwback pic of him, Chrissy, and Camron from the early 2000s. All of them smiling, arms around each other, no drama in sight. The caption underneath read, "What's real don't need defending." It was vague, too vague. Fans immediately split into 2 camps. Was he standing by Chrissy, or was this a subtle way of saying she didn't need defending because she knew the truth? Speculation exploded. Within an hour, Jim's team sent out a press release to set the record straight, but the release didn't deny or confirm anything. Instead, it dropped a bomb of its own. Mr. Jones is aware of the recent media chatter involving past personal relationships. He asks that all parties involved move forward with maturity. No further comments will be made. But the last line was what caught everyone's attention. However, if narratives continue being twisted, the truth will be addressed in full. That was it. The warning shot. Camron took it personally. He posted an old voicemail from Jim, dated 3 years ago, where Jim could be heard saying, "Man, she ain't telling the whole story and you know it. I don't even want to be caught in between that sub." Cam captioned it. "Yo, remember saying this, my guy? 'Cause I still got the rest of it too." Suddenly, the tension wasn't just Cam and Chrissy anymore, it was Cam versus Jim. Fans didn't know where to look. Timelines were flooded. People were choosing sides. Twitter turned into a courtroom. Some said Cam was dragging up ancient history to stay relevant. Others praised him for protecting his truth. But then something no one expected happened. Chrissy disappeared. Her Instagram, gone. Her Twitter, deactivated. No explanation, no warning, just gone. As if she had logged off the planet. Immediately, rumors swirled. Some claimed Jim had asked her to take a break. Others believed she was preparing to take legal action. But the wildest theory? that Chrissy was working on her own documentary. An anonymous blog leaked screenshots of a supposed pitch deck titled Undeniable: The Chrissy Lampkin Story. The doc, according to the leak, was already in early production, with interviews scheduled and footage being compiled, including behind-the-scenes content from her infamous live. Camron reacted quickly. He posted a black and white photo of himself sitting in front of a microphone with the words, "Go ahead, tell your version, I'll tell mine too," in surround sound. And that's when things escalated into full war. In a move no one saw coming, Cam dropped a teaser for an upcoming short-form series on his YouTube channel titled The Pink Print: What They Won't Tell You. The teaser featured dramatic visuals of New York City at night, flashes of text messages, audio distortions of arguments, and a final voiceover from Cam. You thought you knew what happened. You don't know. Oh! The response was instant. Over 100,000 views in the first 4 hours. Fans flooded the comments, begging for episode 1. Influencers and gossip pages started breaking down the teaser frame by frame. And deep in the Reddit threads, one user claimed they had access to the real voicemail, the one Cam had edited in his Instagram post. The original voicemail is longer, they wrote, and Jim ain't defending Chrissy, he's exposing her. No audio ever surfaced, but the idea was planted. And from there, the entire internet spiraled. What did Jim say? What else does Cam have? And most importantly, what is Chrissy hiding? As the days passed, things got quiet again. Too quiet. Then, on a Thursday morning, Cam went live. No filter, no background music, just him in his home studio staring straight into the camera. "Since everybody wants the truth," he said, "let me tell you how it really went down." He lit a cigar, leaned back, and started telling the story no one had heard yet. Not from Chrissy, not from Jim, not from the blogs. He spoke about a night in 2017. It was after a reunion show taping for Love and Hip Hop. The cameras had stopped, rolling, but the real drama had only just begun. According to Cam, he and Chrissy had met in a hotel lounge later that night. No cameras, no crew, just them. They talked for hours, caught up, laughed, cried. And then, according to him, Chrissy said something that stuck with him ever since. "You know, we only stopped because we were scared of how real it felt." Cam paused after repeating it. His face didn't flinch, but his eyes gave something away, something unresolved. "I didn't make that up," he said, "and she knows it." He didn't say what happened after that night. He didn't have to. The implication was clear. The past they'd both tried to bury, it had never stayed buried. And now, it was surfacing in every messy, painful, unfiltered form. But as the live ended and fans were left with more questions than answers, a new player entered the ring. Someone who hadn't spoken publicly about Cam or Chrissy in years, and whose opinion, like it or not, could break the internet all over again. The queen of reality TV herself, Yandy Smith. And what she had to say? Well, it didn't just stir the pot. It flipped the entire table. No one expected her to speak. Yandy Smith had been keeping her distance from the Camron and Chrissy mess, staying focused on her businesses, family, and occasional brand deals. But when she posted a video to her story titled, "Enough is Enough," people knew something serious was coming. She started slow, her tone calm but cutting. Yandy sat in her kitchen, no glam squad, no promo lighting, just her and her phone camera. "I've been quiet," she said. "I've watched the back and forth. I've seen the lives, the screenshots, the accusations. And for the longest time, I said I wouldn't get involved. But then I saw how this is affecting people who don't even deserve to be dragged in. Her voice tightened. "So let's talk about what really happened in 2017. Fans froze. Yandy wasn't just commenting, she was about to drop a first-hand account. "I was at that taping," she said. "I was there when we wrapped for the day." And yes, Cam and Chrissy did sneak off. We all noticed it. Some of us even joked about it back then. But what y'all don't know is they weren't arguing. They weren't distant. They were locked in. Like the cameras were off, but their connection was still performing. Fans were stunned. Someone finally confirmed Cam's story. Partially, at least, but Yandy wasn't done. "The only reason I'm saying this," she continued, "is because I'm seeing too many people try to rewrite history. Chrissy wasn't just a victim. Cam wasn't just a villain. They were both playing a dangerous game, and too many people got hurt along the way, including Jim. The mention of Jim changed everything. People had been tiptoeing around his name, afraid to imply anything more than vague complicity. But Yandy? She went there. Jim knew, she said. He didn't want to believe it, but he knew. And to be honest, he tried to hold it all together for way longer than he should have. Just like that, the internet broke again. Clips of Yandy's video were reposted by every major gossip page within hours. Headlines screamed, "Yandy exposes Chrissy and Cam's hidden history," and "Jim Jones knew more than he admitted." Even verified celebrities chimed in, including a former castmate who tweeted, "Bean knew that Triangle was deeper than TV." But then, in a moment that changed the entire narrative, a mysterious Instagram page began posting clips from a never-before-seen interview. The clips were short, just 30 seconds each, but the person speaking was unmistakable. Chrissy. The page, named A Lampkin Uncut, posted a new clip every few hours. In one, Chrissy said, "I wasn't perfect, but I was real. Always was. Always. Will be." In another, she wiped away a tear and said, "Cam knew how to get in my head. And sometimes I let him." And in the most explosive clip yet, she admitted, "There were nights when I wasn't sure who I was loyal to. That's the truth. That's the part I never wanted to say out loud." Boom. That single line flipped the table again. Fans were now convinced that Chrissy had been emotionally torn between Cam and Jim for years, and had possibly been in deeper with Cam than she'd ever admitted publicly. Camron responded with a simple post, a photo of a chessboard with one piece tipped, over, and the caption, "Check." People lost it. Even though the full interview hadn't dropped, the clips were enough to shift public opinion again. More fans began seeing Cam not just as someone defending himself, but as someone who had been hurt and was finally pushing back. After years of being cast as the bad guy, but just when everyone thought the climax had hit, another twist arrived. A former Love and hip-hop producer anonymously leaked an unreleased scene from 2017. The scene was never aired. According to the source, it had been cut at Chrissy's request. But now it was online. The scene showed Chrissy in a dressing room, visibly upset, pacing. Cam walks in. The conversation is tense. "You can't keep showing up like this," she says. "Why not?" Cam replies. "You don't want me here?" "I didn't say that," she says, lowering her voice. "But I need space." Cam steps closer. "Or maybe you just don't want to admit that space ain't what you really want." She doesn't respond. She just stares at him. Then she walks out. The video is raw. It's unedited. It's real, and it confirms everything both of them had been dancing around. Fans exploded. The hashtag #OnLampkinGate started trending. People demanded to see the full documentary. Gossip shows started doing entire segments on the Cam-Chrissy Jim Triangle. Even late-night hosts were cracking jokes about it. But through all the noise, one question lingered. Where was Jim? He hadn't posted since his original throwback photo. No lives, no tweets, no statements. Fans began speculating that he was stepping away to avoid the embarrassment. Others claimed he was quietly preparing his own version of the truth, and then came the rumor that stopped everyone cold. An industry insider claimed Jim was in talks with a major streaming platform to release his side of the story in a tell-all. Docu-series? The working title. Loyalty. The truth behind the legacy. Suddenly, this wasn't just a love triangle. It was a three-way media war. And Cam's response? He posted a laughing emoji with one word underneath. Cute. What had started as a single interview was now a full-blown saga. A crossover between reality TV, hip-hop history, and internet storytelling. And there was still one major voice left to speak. A voice that had remained silent through every twist, every leak, every receipt. Because when it came to the truth about Cam and Chrissy, the real final word might belong to the one person who knew everything. Chrissy's mother, and what she revealed, would shake both families to the core. And just like that, the saga between Camron and Chrissy has left us all questioning what's real, what's performative, and what's still hidden beneath the surface. From explosive voice notes to quiet moments of confession, this story unraveled piece by piece. Not with closure, but with raw, unresolved tension that still lingers in the air. What started as one woman breaking her silence turned into a three-way emotional collision. Camron didn't just respond, he detonated years of suppressed feelings and buried drama. Chrissy didn't just tell her truth, she revealed cracks in a story fans thought they already knew. And Jim Jones, the man caught in the middle, reminded us that silence can speak louder than receipts. Even Chrissy's own mother stepped into the ring, adding fire to a flame already burning out of control. And with whispers of documentaries, unreleased voicemails, and social media breadcrumbs, the drama isn't over. It's evolving. So now, we want to hear from you. Whose side are you really on? Do you believe Camron is simply defending himself after years of being misunderstood? Or did Chrissy finally have enough and tell her side, no matter who it hurt? Is Jim protecting his peace, or hiding a truth that would blow this whole thing wide open? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let it all out. We'll be reading. Don't forget to like this video if you were shocked, gagged, or just couldn't look away. Subscribe for more wild breakdowns, deep dives, and viral drama that hits harder than a Dipset reunion gone wrong.